this is probably the worst aging of the Mario Kart games. And a big thing to remember, and I've heard a lot of commentators say that Mario Kart 64 has aged the worst out of all the Mario Kart games in the entire series. A big thing to keep in mind when you're playing games from the mid-1990s like this, particularly when things first went to the Super Nintendo, it was a thing back then for a game to basically coast on the fact that it was in 3D. So Mario 64, as fun as it was, I think a lot of the enjoyment that we had back then was that it was in 3D. If you look at it versus Super Mario World, there were some things that weren't quite as good. The game didn't seem... It seemed like the game hit the limitations of the N64 pretty easily. I think the Mario Odyssey series have probably expressed what we thought Mario 64 could be like back in those days when Mario first went 3D. And there were some issues with other games going 3D too, like what happened to Castlevania when it went 3D, and of course the infamous Superman 64, but I think that was 1999. But Mario Kart 64, and I'd say even Final Fantasy VII was affected by this as well. There was a hype in the 90s as games went 3D that meant that just the fact that a game was in 3D would give it a free pass among gamers. That's why, to this day, I often ruffle feathers when I say that I liked Final Fantasy VI more than Final Fantasy VII. And I think Final Fantasy VI is actually the best Final Fantasy game of all time. But it was Final Fantasy VII that was in 3D somewhat on the PlayStation. And that was the one that got the razzle-dazzles from the crowd and everything, and, the rest is history. Mario Kart 64 with a Wii controller. I do still have the original hardware, too. Oh yeah, here we go. And I'm hearing this in stereo too.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
See, this is actually Charles Martinet doing Mario's voice. But I always had some problems with... I always thought that guy was like a vampire or something. Like, what, does this game have cartoon Dracula or something? Oh, look at this! It's in 3D! 1990s 3D, but before we do anything serious, let's actually...
Welcome to Mario Kart.
Before we do anything serious, I first saw this game on a Nintendo... Yep.
Select your player. Yahoo! Select man.
I first saw this game on a demo unit of an N64 in a Walmart. Actually, the Walmart that I still go to this day. And I didn't have any clue how the analog stick worked. So when I first tried to play this game in that Walmart, I loaded up Bowser's Castle because it's the only track I recognized. And I did this. What the? Why isn't there any steering in this game? What? This thing must not work. I'm hitting the buttons and I'm not moving! Yep. Well, this sucks. Obviously, you gotta use the analog stick. That exact level with Toad, as I recognize him from Super Mario Kart, and I just crashed into the wall. And then when I found out about how analog sticks works, like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
The good news is Nintendo caught on to that, and they were actually showing people playing with the thumbstick in the commercials they were doing for the N64 at the time. So Nintendo fixed that real quick.
Select your player. Select man.
He's had a lot of fun pushing people around as Wario. Let's play through that again, even though I already got it. Wrong button! Okay, we're done. Hold on. Controller settings. Get that stupid ZR mapped to the select button instead. ZR. Make that the Z for any of you Commonwealth folks. ZL to Z. And there was no select button on the N64, so we can set that button as the menu button, like on Mario 64. Too bad the settings aren't shared between games. That's right, there's only one jump button in this game. This is why I kept screwing up in Super Mario Kart. I kept trying to do mini turbos. Ah! Going off the road because of this crap. Whoops. I thought you could fire backwards in this game. I'm too used to there being a Z button. Hey, the surround effects are working even though it's N64. Thanks, Wii U. Your Pro Logic processor. Boing. I should just do Z with the other button. I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use Z left for anything anyways. To be honest though, these mid-1990s sound effects on today's systems with today's headphones and today's technology, I can hear the bit rate limits, the sample rate limits on the sounds. You can't go back. Oh yeah, that's right. Hit the gas. Jumbotron. That was cool back when I first saw it. I have this theme as a ringtone. Do 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 do. I did like the whole jazz theme between sessions, races, whatever. And see, here's where we deviate from the Super Nintendo version. Moo Moo Farm. This is a level that someone just made because they wanted to. I mean, Moo Moo Farm, who cares? Whereas Super Mario Kart was Mario World on wheels. Woo. I didn't get anything. Oops. Mini turboing is a lot easier with the classic controller. Probably because the analog stick is made out of rubber instead of plastic. Nintendo 64 controllers and the plastic grinding against plastic garbage. Every couple of years you gotta disassemble and clean out the controller dust. Whatever. And they got the cartoon pop-up with the crash, too. See, even in the whistle at the end of the race, I can hear the sample rate limits on the sounds back then. But that's because I'm hearing these through a modern system and not through a crappy little paper speaker on a 13-inch TV whose screen was a little off to the side the whole time I had it. Man. Such a rough childhood, man. Okay, Koopa Troopa Beach. I remember this. I always thought that this was the 64-bit version of Koopa Beach from Super Mario Kart. Try not to dance too much to the soundtrack. Whatever, Peach. See, there's a simplistic charm to Mario Kart. You joke about it like it's some dumb kid's game, but then you just come back to it and you play it again, you're like, okay, this is still fun, even though I'm way older. Oh, here we go. That's why I picked Wario. Kind of sympathize with the guy. Yeah, whatever, banana peel kid. I still can hear those sample rate limits on these things. Yeah. Denied.
I'm a Wario. I'm not gonna win.
What am I celebrating for, though? It's only 50cc. I used to think, in my prime, I used to consider 150cc to be too easy, and then I was disappointed when I found out that the next difficulty level, mirror mode, was at 100cc. I think it would have been a lot better if Nintendo had made it 150cc with the tracks mirrored. Hey, but if you wanted something harder, there was always F-Zero X. This was Mario Kart. Although the local multiplayer in this game took a huge performance hit, and there was a big dial back on the graphics when playing this game in 4-player mode. Oh, what? Come on, Wario. And this is the kind of a Mario Kart track you will never see on a Mario Kart game ever again. Because technically it's kind of encouraging you to try and outrun a train when blasting towards a railroad crossing. Depends on the timing. I don't think you'll ever see something like this in a Mario Kart game ever again. I don't even think this stage will ever get remade on the newer Mario Kart games that have remade stages. Or maybe it's already happened and I'm already wrong, but whatever, man. See, this was all... The Calamari Desert was always a little too quiet compared to Koopa Troopa Koopa Troopa Beach. I mean, you're just cruising around in the desert with a couple of train tracks and stuff. I mean, this didn't seem like it was any harder than what was before. I'd always wondered about this stage. It always seemed out of place. I was making this game, I'd probably put this and then before Koopa Troopa Beach. I don't know. Or maybe have the Mushroom Cup end with Toad's Turnpike and put this at the beginning of the Flower Cup. It just seems like it's a little too easy. Hey, you never know. Maybe the Mario Kart on the Switch gets turned into a games as a service. At least we're not beating the train in any of these. It'd be interesting if Nintendo took Mario Kart on the Switch, turned it into games as a service, and sold DLC of all the prior Mario Kart tracks. Then you just DLC'd up and you got placed into those queues on the online versions and stuff. Nice nostalgia tour versus this eyesore. It would look even worse than the original N64. Then we're dealing with the N64 video processor. Mid-1990s anti-aliasing, baby.
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win.
Again, because it's Mario Kart 3D, we have a flying fish. This is a real eyesore in today's world, not so much back in its time. Before we hang it up with this game, just gotta do one time trial.
Time trial. Select your place. Go. Select map.
Cry all you want, cry all you want, Lakitu. We're doing nostalgia. Very unique, subjective nostalgia, but still nostalgia. When you get Mario Kart 64 before Super Mario 64, and you wish you had this game, and you wish you had Mario 64 instead of Mario Kart 64, you kind of sort of hang out here quite a bit. Yep, this is the castle. The moat's there and everything. Race data cannot be saved for Ghost. Alright, it's enough of that. Enough of all of this, actually. So yeah. Nostalgia Tour indeed. What else do we have on this thing? Actually, no.